What is the one food that you always get at the movie theater? Popcorn, right? Well, did you know that the Aztecs discovered popcorn? So you can thank the Aztecs today that you're able to eat popcorn in the movie theaters. Aztecs also drank hot chocolate, but it's not the hot chocolate you drink today. It was much more bitter, and they used cinnamon instead of marshmallows. Today we're going to talk about the Aztecs. The Aztecs are going to be influenced by the Toltecs and the Mayan Empire, and they're going to come around after the fall of the Mayan Empire. They're going to be located in modern-day Mexico, and their main city, their capital city, Tenochtitlan, is going to be what is today Mexico City. The Aztecs had an imperial government, they had an empire, and so they would conquer the tribes around them and make them pay tributes to them, much like we see in the Roman Empire. We do have a polytheistic religion. We have over 128 gods in the Aztec religion, and each god had a male and female form. This is known as dualism. Much like in our Greek city-states, in the Aztec Empire, we had certain gods that were patrons of certain towns, occupations, social groups. So again, much like we see in Greece where we have gods that are assigned to certain towns, we see that in the Aztec religion as well. Under the Aztec religion, the king was God's representative on earth. We've seen this before in other empires that we've studied, that they used religion to enforce the ruling family, the ruling class. We have three cults that worship three particular gods. One group is the god of fertility, one is the god of rain, and one's the god of warfare. So we have groups or cults that focus on those gods over other gods. We do have human sacrifice in the Aztec religion. They're actually pretty well known for it. If you've seen Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, you remember the scene where they cut out a guy's heart and pull it out of his body and it's still beating. They did that in the Aztec religion with human sacrifice, that they would pull out people's hearts and they would still beat for a few seconds because of the muscle contractions. However, the person died immediately. The Aztecs used human sacrifice as part of their religion because they believed that the gods created the world using blood, and so they must pay back blood in return. And so if they have like a bad crop that year, then the gods are angry at them, and so they must sacrifice more people to appease the gods. Human sacrifice often came from tributes from other tribes as well as the lower class. You hardly ever see the upper class being sacrificed. There is a game that the Aztecs are well known for, and it's kind of like basketball, except instead of dribbling a ball and throwing it into a hoop, you bounce a ball off your hip into a sideways hoop. Very difficult. If you've seen The Road to El Dorado, they do it in this movie, and I'll include a clip in the playlist. But this game was used as part of the government, that they would decide treaties based on the winner of this game, and the losers often died. Again, our main city is Tenochtitlan, and it is located in modern-day Mexico City, and we have a big pyramid in the center of Tenochtitlan, and it's surrounded by water. The whole city is surrounded by water. And so in order to grow their crops, they use something called chinapas, or floating gardens. They would get a raft of some sort, put soil on it, put seeds in it, and then lay it on top of the water until the soil was saturated enough, and then they would use vines, strings, whatever, to pull it out of the water and have it just hanging in the air until it needed to go back down the water again, and that's how they grew their crops. We have Kopli, are different clans, different family groups that maintain the towns. We do have a social class in the Aztec Empire, much like we do in all of our other empires. At the top of our social class, we have the royalties, followed by the nobles, followed by the warriors, and then followed by peasants. Everyone had to go to school in the Aztec Empire until they were 14, and after they turned 14, then they could go to a specialized school for a trade. So it's not that different than what you have today, except that girls couldn't participate in education as much as boys could, and that the skills and the jobs were different. But, the point is you have to go to school until you're 18. And then after you get out of high school, you either go to college or to trade school, or you go to training for a job. And so the people in the Aztec Empire did something similar, where they had to go to school until 14 and then went to a specialized school. Now, you might think that you're getting gypped because they only had to go to school until they were 14 and you have to go until you're 18. But remember that your life expectancy is about twice as long as the people in the Aztec Empire. Women in the Aztec Empire tended to take care of the house. They did work in the field some. They took care of the children. We do see that we have arranged marriages, so we have a patriarchal society. Women could also not own property, again, enforcing our patriarchal society. Just like our other great empires, there's a lot more I could tell you about the Aztecs, but this is kind of the basics that you need to know. Next time we're going to talk about the Inca Empire. I'll see you then.